The tools don't matter. Is that really the case? Let's dive in and talk about this for a few minutes. I've been hearing this phrase, the tools don't matter, or that shiny features don't really matter when using a productivity tool or a note-taking platform. What I often think is missing from this perspective, though, is that one, it's kind of poo-pooing on tools in general, that you shouldn't have to pay for a fancy productivity tool to actually be productive. And two, that you shouldn't have to rely on things that are fancy or extra, like wiki linking and knowledge graphs, to help you get the work done. I think there are some flaws in that logic, and here's why. Saying a tool doesn't matter is a lot like saying to an expert woodworker that you should be able to build a desk with a screw. With enough time, you might be able to do that, but there are more effective tools for the job. You, as a knowledge worker or a student, are a craftsperson as well. It just looks a little different than some of these physical trades. You're taking information, you're taking knowledge, and you're transforming it from one thing to another. And sometimes we need to use tools to do that. Tools at the core are something that we can use as people to help us do something that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do, or do something at a better level than we would just on our own. I wouldn't be able to talk to you right now about this without this camera, or this microphone, a computer, an internet connection, and the service YouTube. These are all tools that help me do this better than I could on my own. And this is the mindset that I take towards productivity tools as well, whether it's a note-taking software like Obsidian or a task manager like Todoist. These tools are there to help me do something better than I could do it on my own. So for Todoist, one of the things that I love about this tool is that it helps me organize my lists in a way that makes sense to my brain. Same thing with Obsidian. It allows me to organize notes and process through notes in a way that I wouldn't be able to do so with another tool. The whole issue here, I think, that we're trying to get at with talking about tools not mattering is actually the problem of systems. You should be able to take principles of productivity and apply them in different places, but the systems that we're often sold are billed as one-size-fits-all solutions that everybody should use getting things done because this is the best way to get things done. Right? Well, that's not always the case. I know I personally buck against using a system like Getting Things Done because it's too rigid and too granular for me. The context that you're approaching a problem or a system or a hierarchy or an organization is completely different from mine, because you have a different life experience. You have different places where you're hanging knowledge in your head. And so the way I organize my system, while there might be pieces of that you can take to benefit you, it's not going to work for you straight out of the box. And so as a result of that, we need to be conscious of the systems that we're using. And we need to be conscious of the tools that we're using. If we choose a tool like Obsidian because it helps us think through notes more clearly, or it allows us to do things we wouldn't otherwise be able to do in other tools, well, then that's being a craftsperson and trying to find the tool that's the right fit for you to do something that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So how do you pick the right tool if tools actually do matter? Well, I think one of the most important things you can do is to experiment. When you experiment with different tools, say, I'm going to commit to using Todoist for 3 months just to figure out if I can get my head around how this tool works, because there is an adjustment period when using a tool like this. I'm going to commit to this for 3 months, and then I'm going to dive in, I'm going to use it, and then at the end of that 3 months, I'm going to say, did this actually work for me, or did it not? Do I need to find something else? A lot of times when we start walking the road, instead of getting hung up on features, we start trying to figure out what we actually need. That's the point where we start to realize how we're truly going to use a piece of software. The only way to know if a productivity tool is going to work for you and the way that your brain works is if you try it out. At the core, tools don't matter in the sense that you should be able to take a productivity principle and apply it anywhere else. But tools do matter in the sense that you're a craftsperson, and sometimes you need to pick up the tool that aligns with the way that you need to get work done and the way that your brain operates. So experiment, choose different tools, try to figure out what you need, and ultimately aim to find one that fits the need for you at this moment in time. So what do you think about this? Do you think that tools don't matter? Or do you find that specific tools actually help you get work done better? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like button. My name is Justin with Effective Remote Work. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.